Hey everybody, it's Peter Sinkevich. I'm back for the next I Love Startup vlog entry. It's been a bit, so much has happened. It's actually kind of a whirlwind. It's kind of crazy. So lots to update you on, and then a lot to actually talk about. So I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I'm the level of excitement I have is just insane right now. So uh, what happened? A few days ago, I actually met a literary agent who's going to be pushing a book project that I've had on my task list and as a goal thing for a while now. They're perfect for us. They're connected to a lot of the big publishing houses here in the city. So I'm really excited to kind of get that forward. I've been working on log lines and chapter summaries. It's a 3-book series. So it's going to be really exciting. It's all going to be startup related. So I'm really kind of excited to finally get working on this project. It's been a big thing for me, and I've really wanted to do it. And a lot of people tell me over time, why don't you write a book? So here we go. Finally gonna be there. We also launched Fuckup Nights Midtown to the second largest audience we've ever had. Huge success, massive excitement. So proud of my team. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of the attendees. A super thank you to all of you guys for coming and making it the success it was. I had a really good time talking about some of my own experiences at that event, and it was a great way to kick off our third area or section of the city that will be doing these events. So now we do 3 events a month, every single month. FIDI, Brooklyn, and now Midtown. So from now on, going forward, all those events are going to be held at WeWork Grand Central, which is amazing. That in itself is really great news because I spent 2.5 years building an amazing startup community in Fairfield County, Connecticut, and Westchester County, New York, with Startup Grind when I was the director there. And now I'll be able to leverage this event for the benefit of that audience. They can easily grab tickets, go to Grand Central from wherever they are, and now you're at the event. And you don't have to go anywhere else. And then for the people who are from places outside of the city that go through Grand Central to get home, it's just a quick stop off on your way home. So really looking forward to that. My team and I really believe that this will probably be the highest attended event out of all 3 that we do every month simply because of that. So looking forward to rolling that out, making it available to everybody, and keeping it easy to get to our events. And with that news is another crazy announcement. So Fuck Up Nights Financial District, FIDI, we just arranged the events to be now held at the brand new WeWork Fulton Center, which is in the brand new Fulton Center Transportation Hub. And if you've ever been there, it is sick. Like, it's this circular oculus with a bunch of offices and cool spaces, and there's like a Shake Shack in there and all kinds of cool stuff up above the actual train center. And WeWork opened up a location in that circular oculus. So literally the inside of the event space is are glass windows that look down into all of it below, which is so cool. It's probably one of the coolest spaces we'll ever be doing events in. So super excited, and also a big transportation hub. So super easy to get to, super attractive to everybody, in the sense that you don't really have to go anywhere and you don't have to worry about traipsing around all over the place. Just catch a train ride over to Fulton Center and you're there, Dunbar. So super excited, super pumped about that. Also, I have a speaking engagement this week. My next one is with a private invite-only event called Fired Up with my friend Landis. I'm very excited about that. I'll feed you a little more information and news about that whole deal once it takes place, but very excited about that. And that happens to be the same day of our next event for Fuck Up Nights, which is Thursday, February 2nd. And that will be our Union Square event held at WeWork Irving Place, which also is really interesting because that's Union Square. It's only 1 block east of Union Square Station in the park. And the last time we did an event there in October, they literally had to shut the doors down and not let anyone else in for fact that we were at capacity or slightly over capacity, and it was a fire code issue. So we shut the place down basically, and we're looking forward to doing great things again there this time. This time I think our lineup includes three speakers, but two of them are brothers, and they're not involved in the same venture. They're doing their own things and their own independent startup ventures, and they have some really cool stories to share just from the brother perspective, family's perspective, and their own respective things. So really kind of stoked to hear that story and what they have to say. And then in terms of like our team is looking like it's going to actually grow a bit more. We actually are looking for several different people. As they look up at the chart over here, above my desk, we're looking for post editors for video. We're looking for a couple more people to help us manage social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Facebook events, Medium. And then I'm looking for an admin to help me out with some management of stuff as I bring these ideas together. And then someone to help do sponsorships and merchandising with us, because that's an area that we're going to start expanding into really shortly here. But it looks like we might be adding someone on board to help us with the web platform. So we'll see how things go. Really excited about that because we have some really, what's the right word? Ambitious plans. And then on that note, that kind of gets into what I wanted to talk about with everybody, right? It's this idea of team growth and, onboarding, team members to your startup. And my experience, onboarding team members has been a checkered one, quite honestly. Can't lie. And it gets much more difficult when you're operating a volunteer team, like we have right now. There's a bunch of different reasons for that, but really particularly it's because people put volunteer needs lower on the totem pole of responsibility under things like family, their paying work, social gatherings or events, whatever. But, volunteer, typically gets boxed into this, it's a spare time thing. And I think as time goes on, more and more people have less and less spare time, as you will. So it's a really difficult thing to navigate, and it's been an interesting problem for me to solve as a seasoned entrepreneur. And since starting to do volunteer startup events, which is now like 3 years ago, it was January 2014, I've seen about 60 people come and go on my team over this course of 3+ years, in addition to the 20 that I have on board now, which is about a quarter of retention. And it's not for the reasons you might think. It varies. It's change in bandwidth and availability. What they thought they were once able to commit to, they can't any longer. Finite commitment. They come on board knowing that they're only going to have 6 months with us because that's all that time they have to commit, but they want to make a difference and they want to be a part of it. Some people just move to another city. Life happens, and that's a big thing, right? And then just not working out as a team member, either from our need or from their end. And so to gain consistency, I use several different mechanisms, which we've been able to successfully leverage to curb the churn, increase the selection quality of the people we're bringing on board. It's allowed the team to really hit its goals very successfully, which I'm super proud of. And it's created very happy, engaging culture amongst everyone. So I wanted to share some of that with you, And the components to that are this. I use a stakeholder consensus on new team members for three categories: culture, bandwidth, and skill fit. And so we use the initial interviews. There's usually a couple or more with the key stakeholders on the team or people they're going to be interacting with. And we evaluate based on, aside from everything else, is this person the right personality to mix with all the other people and personalities that we already have on the team? And do they have a serious ability to commit bandwidth? I'm not such a stickler as far as how much bandwidth or how much you can commit, but that you follow through on the commitments you make, however big or small those are, because we need to count on those in order to push things forward. And then skills, like, do you have what it takes to operate within that role? And then we use a thing called tour of duty, and we define our tour of duty up front before any work is done. And tour of duty is a thing that it's an idea that Reid Hoffman floated out in a book he just recently wrote a couple years ago. It's called The Alliance. If you haven't read it, I highly, 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 highly recommend reading that. It basically talks about the dishonest relationship between employers and employees in the corporate world, or anywhere else for that matter. And basically both parties come to that conversation with their fingers crossed and behind their back. And the employer says, yeah, we love you. We want you to be here forever. Retire with us. We'll do everything, possibly for you. And you have all this upward mobility in the company. And their fingers are crossed behind their back because the minute they find someone else that they think is more skilled at the same or less cost, they're going to go and hire them on and maybe phase you out. And the employee does the same thing, right? So they have their fingers behind their back and they're saying, yeah, I want to be with you forever. I want to retire here. I want to give you 150% of my effort, blah, blah, blah. But they come on board going, you know what, if I'm given a better opportunity or more money somewhere else, I'm out, brother. So that is a bad dynamic. Both parties are lying to each other, and that's part of the issue is the bad communication. So Reid talks about this idea of tour of duty, which is borrowed partly from the military, and the idea is that you define very specific time frame and goals to achieve them, and you define the walls you can bounce off of on the way to achieving those goals, and then you go. And then at the end of that time frame, you guys sit back down at the table and you say, okay, did you enjoy your experience with us? And did we enjoy our experience with you? And if everyone's on board with that, we just set another tour of duty and we're off and going, and you do that indefinitely. But if it doesn't, coming into that meeting that it's not going to be right and it's probably not going to continue for the next one. And so everyone parts their ways and the expectations are set up front, and there's no reason to lie because we already know it's coming to an end at a specific point anyway. And unless we all, do what we need to do and meet the expectations of the other party, it's not going to happen again. So it really kind of works out very, very well for us that way. And I think this is, something that I'm probably going to leverage in all the businesses and startups that I build from this point forward. And specific personal development goals I set once you come in the door. This is another thing where I think other organizations fall short. I specifically look at the people I bring on the team as development opportunities. I'm looking to develop them for two main reasons. A, they get something that they can take away from our experience that they can use for the rest of their life. That'll make them better. That'll give them more opportunity in whatever next venture opportunity or thing that they venture off in. But B, when I make them better, they perform better and they're better for our team. So it's a win-win for everybody in that thing. And so I'm very specific about setting personal development goals and then attacking and achieving them with every single individual that works on my team. And then we manage the team through Slack. So we have an office. It's obviously not big enough for the entire team. It's a floating thing, or at least now it is. But Slack is our way to develop our virtual office, and it's our point of communication. So we do very little texting, if any emailing, unless it's external to the team. And all the team communication is wholly focused and centralized in Slack. So it makes it easy to go back and find all those pieces of information or referrals, whatever referral things that you need to go back to, documents in Slack because it's central and it's all related to the team there. And it's online, right? So it's on our phones, it's on our desktops, our laptops, whatever, our iPads. So it makes it very easy to kind of communicate with the team and keep it all centrally located and organized. And then I do these standing meetings with the team every single week, which I think I touched upon in another vlog entry. And it's all about this idea of, how do you manage so much stuff? And the way you manage all this stuff is you carve out a specific time every week on the same exact day, and you carry an agenda over every week with three questions. What did you do this past week? What are you doing next week? And what are the challenges to accomplishing those things next week? And then we hash it all out, end the meeting, and then everyone goes and runs for another week, and then we meet again and we go, okay, and we do it all over again. And this has created a very good culture and a very good environment for us, and it works. And so that's kind of like the high level of how it all works. I've been talking for a bit now. I think the next couple vlog entries I do, we're going to dive into some of these points more specifically, and I'll expand on them, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. In the meantime, I'm off. I'm headed to go celebrate my girlfriend Caroline's birthday. She's super excited about it, so we're going off to do our own thing for the rest of the weekend. I hope you have a rest of your great weekend. Hustle hard as always. Be good. Work hard. Don't lose focus. I'll see you tomorrow.